Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to speak on a universal truth that resonates with all of humanity. God is great. No matter what religion, language, or culture we belong to, there is one unshakable reality. God's greatness surrounds us in every part of life. From the rising sun to the shining stars, from the smallest seed to the vast universe, every detail is a reminder of His infinite power and mercy. When we look at the world around us, we find countless signs of God's greatness in creation. Every sunrise and sunset paints the sky with colors no artist could ever truly capture, reminding us of His divine artistry. The mountains stand tall as symbols of strength and stability, while the oceans stretch endlessly, displaying both beauty and mystery. Even the smallest details, like the way a flower blooms or how a bird takes flight, reflect an incredible design that could only come from a creator of infinite wisdom. Each of these elements, big or small, tells us that the universe was not made by chance but with purpose and perfection. Each of these elements are wooden clothed. The human body itself is a living miracle that highlights God's greatness in creation. From the rhythm of the heartbeat to the complexity of the brain, from the ability to think and dream to the gift of speech and expression, everything is perfectly balanced. The way our eyes can see millions of colors, the way our ears can hear both whispers and thunder, and the way our hearts can feel emotions of love, compassion, and gratitude. These are not random accidents. They are reflections of a divine plan, carefully crafted by the Creator who knew exactly what His creation would need to survive and thrive. Nature also teaches us about God's greatness through its harmony and balance. The earth rotates at the perfect speed, the sun is placed at the exact distance required for life, and the air we breathe contains just the right amount of oxygen. Plants produce the oxygen that humans and animals need, while animals in turn provide carbon dioxide for plants. Rain falls to nourish the soil, rivers flow to sustain life, and seasons change in cycles that bring renewal. This balance is so precise that even a slight change could destroy life, yet it continues flawlessly, proving the hand of an all-powerful Creator. Beyond what we can see, creation extends to the vastness of the universe that leaves us in awe. Billions of stars, galaxies, and planets exist beyond our imagination, each moving in perfect order. Scientists continue to discover more, yet the mysteries of space remain endless, reminding us that God's greatness knows no limits. Night sky itself, filled with stars and constellations, inspires wonder and humility, making us realize how small we are compared to the vast creation, and yet how deeply valued we must be that God allows us to witness and live within such beauty. In moments of weakness, when life feels heavy and our hearts are burdened, it is God who becomes the source of our strength. Every human being experiences struggles, whether in the form of personal loss, challenges, or overwhelming responsibilities. During such times, even when family and friends provide comfort, there remains a kind of inner emptiness that only God can fill. His presence gives us courage to face storms that seem impossible to overcome. This strength does not always mean the removal of problems, but rather the ability to endure them with patience and hope. Truly, when we lean on Him, we find ourselves rising again, even after we have fallen countless times. God's strength manifests in ways that we often overlook. Sometimes it comes as peace in the middle of chaos. At other times it appears as resilience when we feel like giving up. People who place their trust in God often find that they can bear more than they thought possible. It is not their own power that sustains them, but the invisible support of the Almighty. Even a small whisper of prayer can bring comfort to the troubled soul. As if God's strength flows directly into the heart, His greatness is shown in how He uplifts us when we are down, reminding us that no difficulty is greater than His power. History and daily life both provide endless examples of God being the strength of humanity. Great leaders, prophets, and ordinary people have stood firm against trials only because they relied on Him. The stories of individuals who endured hardships yet never lost faith inspire us to recognize God's role as the true foundation of strength. Whether it was a prophet standing before a tyrant or a poor person remaining hopeful in the face of hunger, their courage came from knowing that God was with them. This teaches us that when we feel weak, we are never truly alone. God is present, providing the inner power that cannot be seen but can always be felt. Most importantly, God's strength does not only sustain us in difficult times, but also empowers us to help others. When we draw strength from Him, we are better able to encourage, support, and uplift those around us. His strength flowing through us becomes a source of healing for others as we extend kindness, patience, and compassion. By relying on God, we do not only overcome our own burdens, but also become instruments of hope for those who struggle. This shows that His greatness lies not only in giving us strength for ourselves, but also in making us a channel of strength for the world around us. One of the most profound qualities of God that reveals His greatness is His infinite mercy. Human beings often fall into mistakes, weakness, and sin, yet God's mercy is always greater than our shortcomings. Unlike people who may hold grudges or struggle to forgive, God's mercy is boundless, covering every aspect of life. He gives us countless chances to turn back to Him. No matter how far we may have drifted, each new day we wake up, each breath we take, and each blessing we enjoy is a living proof of His merciful nature. His mercy is not limited by time or circumstance. It is always present, waiting to embrace those who seek it. God's mercy is evident in the way He provides for all creation regardless of their belief or disbelief. The sun rises for everyone, the rain falls upon all lands, and food grows for both the grateful and the ungrateful. This universal care shows that His mercy is not selective or restricted. Even when people forget Him, He does not forget them. He continues to bless, sustain, and protect, reminding us that His compassion is deeper than our understanding. Such generosity highlights His greatness, for only a truly merciful Creator could love and care for creation without expecting anything in return. Beyond physical blessings, God's mercy extends to the spiritual realm. When people turn to Him in repentance, He forgives, no matter how severe their mistakes have been. Stories across time and scripture remind us of individuals who committed great wrongs, yet found forgiveness because they sought God sincerely. This shows that His mercy is never exhausted. No sin is too great for His forgiveness, and no person is too far gone for His compassion. For those who feel broken, guilty, or unworthy, God's mercy offers hope. A hope that tells us we can always return to Him and be embraced with love. The beauty of God's mercy is that it teaches us to be merciful toward others. When we reflect on how generously He forgives us, we are inspired to show kindness and forgiveness to those who wrong us. In this way, His mercy not only comforts individuals, but also shapes communities built on compassion, understanding, and patience. A merciful society is a reflection of God's greatness, for it mirrors the divine quality of forgiveness. Thus, His mercy is not only a gift for us personally, but also a guiding light for how we treat the world around us. God's greatness is profoundly displayed through His wisdom, which governs every aspect of existence. Unlike human understanding, which is limited and often flawed, God's wisdom is perfect and beyond measure. He sees the entire picture of life, past, present, and future, while we can only grasp a small fragment. Many times we question why certain events happen, why hardships occur, why people face loss, or why life takes unexpected turns. Yet behind every moment lies divine wisdom that often reveals itself only in time. This shows that God's decisions are not accidental, but part of a grand design filled with purpose and meaning. We see His wisdom in the way creation itself is ordered with precision and balance. The earth is set at the right distance from the sun, the seasons follow a perfect cycle, and the laws of nature function flawlessly to sustain life. If the world operated even slightly differently, life would not be possible. Such perfection is not a product of chance, but a reflection of God's infinite wisdom. From the smallest detail of a cell to the vast movements of galaxies, every part of the universe follows a wise plan laid out by the Creator. His wisdom is written into the very fabric of existence. In our personal lives, God's wisdom often appears through the trials and blessings we encounter. Sometimes what we see as a disappointment is actually protection. And what feels like a delay is preparation for something greater. Many people, when looking back, realize that what once seemed like misfortune later became the turning point for something better. This is the work of God's wisdom, guiding us even when we do not understand. While human minds may question and doubt, those who trust in His wisdom find peace in knowing that nothing happens without reason, and every moment has a hidden blessing. Furthermore, God's wisdom teaches humanity lessons that shape our character and strengthen our faith. Challenges in life develop patience, failures teach humility, and blessings remind us to be grateful. His wisdom allows both joy and sorrow to play their roles in shaping who we are and guiding us closer to Him. Through His wisdom, we learn that life is not about comfort alone, but about growth, reflection, and spiritual awakening. This divine knowledge surpasses all human intellect, reminding us that God's wisdom is not only perfect but also deeply purposeful in molding our lives toward greater meaning. Among the countless attributes that reveal God's greatness, His unconditional love stands out as one of the most powerful. Human love often comes with conditions, expectations, or limitations, but God's love knows no boundaries. He loves His creation not because of what we do, but simply because we are His. From the moment of our birth until the end of our journey, His love surrounds us in ways both visible and hidden. The food we eat, the air we breathe, the protection we receive, and the blessings we enjoy daily are all signs of His constant love. Even when we forget Him, He continues to remember and care for us, showing that His love is eternal and unmatched. God's unconditional love is not limited to times of joy, but is most deeply felt in times of hardship. When we feel broken, lost, or unworthy, His love becomes a source of comfort that embraces us, regardless of our flaws. Unlike human beings who may withdraw their love when disappointed, God never abandons His creation. He listens to every prayer, even the silent cries of the heart, and responds with kindness and mercy. This kind of love is so great that it cannot be measured by human standards. It reflects a compassion that is divine, a love that never gives up on us, no matter how far we may stray. The greatest expression of God's unconditional love is His willingness to forgive and give endless chances for renewal. Human beings make mistakes every day, yet God's love continues to cover those mistakes with opportunities for repentance and growth. His love is not based on perfection but on sincerity. He looks at the heart, not at appearances. This means that even the weakest and most broken among us can receive His love fully and completely. It is a love that lifts us from despair, heals the wounds of guilt, and assures us that no failure can separate us from His mercy. Such depth of love is a clear sign of His greatness. Moreover, God's unconditional love inspires us to reflect it in our own lives. When we realize how greatly He loves us without conditions, we are called to love others in the same way, with patience, forgiveness, and compassion. This transforms communities and relationships, creating bonds that mirror the divine love of the Creator. In this way, His unconditional love is not only a blessing we receive, but also a model we are encouraged to live by. It is through loving others sincerely and selflessly that we truly honor the love God shows us every day. One of the greatest signs of God's greatness is His role as a guide for humanity. Life is a journey filled with choices, challenges, and uncertainties. And without guidance, we would easily lose our way. God, in His mercy, does not leave us wandering without direction. He provides us with signs in creation, wisdom in our hearts, and revelations through His chosen messengers to show us the path of truth and righteousness. His guidance is not forced upon us, but offered with love, giving us the freedom to choose the way we wish to live. This shows the greatness of a Creator who not only made us, but also cares for our journey in this world. God's guidance often comes in moments when we feel lost or confused. Even hardships can become recalled moments when a closed door recalled. These are not coincidences, but reflections of divine guidance. That He knows what is truly best for us, and He leads us toward what is truly best for us. Another way God guides humanity is through His scriptures and the examples of prophets. Throughout history, He sent messengers to different nations, each carrying teachings that reminded people of their purpose and the values needed for a just and meaningful life. These teachings were not merely rules, but pathways to peace, harmony, and spiritual growth. The wisdom found in these divine messages transcends time, proving that God's guidance is eternal and relevant for every generation. By following these principles, people discover clarity, discipline, and a moral compass that protects them from straying into harmful paths. God's guidance also speaks through the inner voice of conscience, which helps us distinguish right from wrong. While external teachings show us the way, the inner sense of morality confirms His presence within us. When we choose kindness over cruelty, honesty over dishonesty, or patience over anger, we are responding to the guidance He has planted in our hearts. This inner compass is a gift that reflects His greatness, for it ensures that even in the silence of solitude, His light is still with us. Through both external and internal means, God continues to guide us, proving that His care extends far beyond creation. into the very direction of our lives. Acknowledging that God is great is not only a belief, but also a way of life. When we live with faith in His greatness, our perspective on life begins to change. We stop seeing difficulties as permanent obstacles and start viewing them as opportunities for growth, knowing that God's plan is always greater than our own. Faith in His greatness allows us to trust even when we cannot fully understand the situation. It is this trust that gives the heart peace, because it shifts our focus from fear of the unknown to reliance on the one who knows all. Living with faith in God's greatness also teaches us patience. Life rarely goes exactly as we plan, and delays or struggles can test our endurance. But those who truly believe in God's greatness understand that every moment unfolds according to divine wisdom. Instead of being consumed by anxiety, they remain calm and hopeful, trusting that God's timing is always perfect. This patience does not make life free of challenges, but it does make the heart stronger and more resilient. It gives us the ability to wait with dignity, knowing that God never abandons His servants. Faith in God's greatness brings purpose to our actions and decisions. When we accept that He is the ultimate authority, we begin to live with a sense of accountability and responsibility. Choices are no longer made for temporary satisfaction alone, but with the understanding that God sees and knows everything. This awareness encourages us to act with honesty, kindness, and humility, reflecting the greatness of the one we believe in. Living this way transforms our relationships, our communities, and our character, making our lives meaningful and guided by higher principles. Finally, living with faith in God's greatness inspires hope, even in the darkest times. People who believe in His greatness do not give up easily, because they know that no difficulty is greater than God's power. Hope becomes a natural outcome of faith, giving strength to endure pain and courage to pursue dreams. This hope is not empty optimism, but a deep conviction that God's plan is always good, even if it takes time to reveal itself. In this way, faith in God's greatness becomes a shield against despair and a light that guides us through life's uncertainties. In the end, the greatness of God surrounds us in every aspect of life, through His creation, His strength, His mercy, His wisdom, His love, His guidance, and the faith He inspires within us. To acknowledge that God is great is more than words. It is a way of living with gratitude, trust, and humility. No matter how high we rise or how low we fall, God's greatness remains constant, reminding us that we are never alone. Let us carry this truth in our hearts, reflect it in our actions, and share it through our lives. For indeed, in every moment and in every breath, God is truly great.